Howdy folks, TJ here. It's fall. It's a wonderful time to start getting your nerd on, meaning less going outside because it's dark and dismal and rainy and snowy, and you're going to play in the house instead on your computers. And in this case, the AmigaOne X5000, and we've got a little treat for you today. We're going to beautify, or I've already beautified, but we'll explain what I've done, my Workbench. And that's because Beautify your Amiga OS and AmiKit Workbench 4.1. And it's version 1.1. So Beautify your Amiga OS. I don't use AmiKit, so this is all about my AmigaOne X5000. And what we've done is we've got all these pretty icons. You may be looking at some of them. Maybe the video's a little small. I'll zap in later so you can kind of see a few of them. But we're beautifying it. Now, already, you can kind of see some leaves falling in the background. That's not this program. This is Candy. I love the Candy. Candy is part of the Enhancer pack, and it is fall. So I've got the leaves falling, and I just love using Candy. Now, this Beautify your Amiga OS Workbench, this infinite icons, does come with some cool backdrops, and we'll show you a few. But for now, I'm going to be utilizing its feature of all these pretty icons that make our Workbench look cool. So let's chat about a few things. So let me go ahead and actually first bring this up, and let's show you what you're going to get. Now, what's a little tricky, I tried to use Odyssey to go to the AmiKit website. It didn't work. It didn't like it. I tried spoofing, and every spoof available to me, none of them worked. So what I've done is I've made a screenshot on a different computer, and then I brought it over here. Which also means I think you're going to need to buy this via another computer because it's an ISO image. And excuse me scratching my eyes, but my allergies are bad today, and my eyes really itchy. Anyway, you're going to need to buy it elsewhere, put it on a USB stick, and then slap it on your Amiga, because unless there's some other browser that I'm unaware of that will actually work at the AmiKit website, that's what I had to do here. So it's 12.95 euros. And what is it? Well, it's got a whole bunch of features. So you can kind of see from the picture, it's features total 6,398 dual PNG 32-bit icons, all the way up to 256 by 256. 8 different wallpapers that match the color. Wallpapers come in 4 different aspect ratios: 5:4, 16:9, 16:10, and 21:9. 4 different drawer options in 7 color options. 2 different window patterns, 13 brightness levels. 1 startup music, Clouds by Isidore. 7 different window title bar colors. Icon installer, check. Icon switcher, check. Icon scaler, check. It's a little, we'll talk about this in a minute, but it was a little confusing for me. But yes, there's an installer now for this program that made installation easier. I still ran into a few hiccups, which we'll discuss. Total 450 AmiKit icons in classic blue color, 64 by 64 icon size, version 1.0. So this is version 1.1. And you can see it's got an Amiga X5000, and it's got these infinite icons theme pack. Let's read over here. What's it say? Icon installer, switcher, and scaler is created to make installing infinite icons easier. These are only OS 4.1 features. Icons are created at 256 by 256, so you can resize the icons to any smaller size you want. These revolutionary features are only version 1.1 onwards, and it is part of the Infinite Icons theme pack product. Icon Installer has separate program that will make a backup of your existing icons if necessary. It is easy to restore the old icons from the backup if you want to restore your system to its previous state. So this was the screen that greeted me at the AmiKit website. I'll put the link down below where you can go find it. And it's available now. So let's go ahead and close this picture. So right now you can already see some icons on my desktop. Let me let me focus in a little bit closer. You won't see me anymore, but you'll see the screen a little bit better. And we'll show you and chat about a few things. Okay, focus in on the screen. All right, cool. All right, so you can see some pretty icons. Infinite icons. This right here, what you're going to make sure you need to understand how to use is a disk utility. What's it called? Disk image GUI. Now, I had thought an ISO, I could just double click on Amiga OS and it would open. In my case, no. Maybe it's a setting thing, but I did go in and find disk image GUI. I launched it, and I was able to bring up this icon over here, which is the ISO image that I had downloaded. And what this brought up was all these things. Install infinite icons, backup, Workbench icons, packages, AmiKit, DVD covers, README, copy, write, and license. The README is quite large, and there's a lot of stuff on here, and it talks about the installer not installing it to where it just automatically takes over. You install it first, then you have to use these programs, icon scaler or icon switcher, to make the adjustments that you want. And then you can then have it take. So it was a little confusing for me because what I was looking for was a program called Icon Installer. I couldn't find one. So it confused me a little bit, but I eventually got it. So read this whole README multiple times. I'm going to go ahead and close it for now. And so that's what's on here. This is important. Backup WB icons. I ran it, and it ran pretty easily. I'll just go ahead and make another backup now for the halibut. I'm going to double click on it, and it's going to ask me where I want to save the backup. Let's go ahead and save it to stuff. And it gives it the name icons_backup.lha. Click OK. This little window pops up here, and it basically goes through, and it's now backing up all of what I have. Now, what I have now is actually the new ones. So I've got a backup of my original ones, and I have it on this computer. I also put it on a USB stick, which I unplugged. It's a little Volkswagen Beetle that's got little headlights. And I've got it separate in case I ever need to go back or want to go back. Operation successful, close. So that's how you basically back up. Then you're going to double click on the install infinite icons, which I'm not going to do because I've already installed it, but it's fairly user friendly. Some caveats to that. My system partition is quite small. It's 3 GB in size, which is kind of big. Some other people I know only have like a 1 or 2 GB. I made it a 3. But when I first did the install using the installer, I think my system was at about 1.5 gigabytes. It got full, and it stopped the installation. Right at the end, I was at 99%, and all of a sudden it came up, ran out of space. I'm all, oh, crap. So I had to go in, find what I thought it installed on my system partition to free up the space, because I didn't want it full. I want this computer to boot up and have no issues. And then I installed it again. In the text README, it recommends that you install it in your prefs folder in the presets folder. That's where it's recommending. But I don't have the space on my hard drive to do that, the partition. So I went ahead and did an installation again, and I installed it on my stuff partition. And the funny thing is, though, it still put some stuff on my system partition because I had 700 and some odd megabyte free, and it went back up to full again. Almost completely full. Fortunately, it did the install, but so it still seemed to have put some stuff in my system partition, but the majority of it is in my stuff. And when you open stuff, I've got this new directory called icons, which I've double-clicked. And when you open it, it brings up this. This is all the pretty colors. You'll see that they've got colors. Ancient Copper, Ash Gray, Chili Red, Classic Blue, Frost White, Raven Black, and Sea Green. I liked the Raven Black. So when you double-click on it, it brings up this window. These icons up here, Electronics, Empty, Full, Split, Extras. And then down here is, I believe, the switcher program. Now, it doesn't come out and say switcher, but I'm pretty sure that's what this is because you can use electronics, use empty, use full, use split, preview. You'll see that there's little double arrows, and it's letting you know that it's going to switch those icons to the new ones. So when you double click on it, it brings up a menu bar. I'm not going to do it again, but when you bring it up, it brings up a window, and it lets you know the progress of the switching. At first, I did this use split, but not all my icons changed, only part of them. So I need to read again, but I went ahead instead and did the use full. The use full, I would think, is that you've got more. And when I did that, I had considerably more, it appeared, unless my eyes were deceiving me. So I went ahead and, if you want to look at the full, you can open it up and Workbench, and then you can see what everything looks like. But if you want to make the switch, you double click on the one that you want, use split, use full. I did both of them, but I eventually went to the use full. It went through the motions. I rebooted my computer, and up came my new hard drive icons. Now, only 2 of them changed. You have to manually change some icons. My RAM disk changed to the new, and the infinite icons was already new. These other 3 were not, but you can fairly easily make the change. You can drag and copy your icon of size over there. So let's see, where did I put it? Raven Black, Extras. In the Extras folder are all the sizes of the icons. 112 by 112, 128 by 128, and so on. I right now am going with, I believe, the stock 64 by 64. And when you open that, it brings up all the icons. For example, the hard drive icons. Here they are. So you can now, if this icon over here, system, was not, it was the old one, you can get information on it. And the old icon would be right here. What you do is grab the one that you like, drag it on top of here, let it go, and it changes to the new one, and then you click save, and then it will now make the new icon. So there's some that you manually need to change. So I did the ones that I thought would look cool. So now on my desktop, I've got the hard drive icons that look cool. They're the infinite icons. And then you've got all these other ones that we can play with over time. So it was fairly easy install. Again, if you're going to install it on your main system partition, make sure you've got plenty of room. To me, it almost seems like it needed 1.5 gigabyte or thereabouts of space to install everything. And even when I went and installed it on my stuff partition, it still used, I think, 700 and something. I would have to, I could be wrong, but it gobbled up quite a bit of space again. Anyway, so this is infinite icons. Let's look at a few backdrops. Do I have some backdrops here? Let me go ahead and close the extras. But needless to say, whatever one you want to change it to. Say you like the classic blue. Open that. Confirm you like it. Double click on the use split or use full. Only use my directions. Read before you do it. This is what I did. If it screws up your computer, don't blame me. So always back up. So back up your icons, back up your computer, because this could change things beyond what you like. For me, everything seemed to work. I had to manually change a few icons. And anyway, so you double click on the program down here to make the switch. And then after a reboot, everything is nice and pretty. Let's go and find some backdrops, just so you can see some of the backdrops that they have. It's in the presets folder. So it did, like I said, I'm pretty sure I said install this program on my stuff, but it still went ahead and put backdrops, infinite icons, and these things take up some space. But anyway, there's backdrops, and it has a directory called infinite icons. They are all color coordinated. So in my case, I'm Raven Black, and I want to do 16 by 9. And there's all these different wallpapers. And if you double click on them, it should open up on your Amiga. So there's that one. This looks like Hermione from Harry Potter. Okay, so there's one backdrop. Let's open up another one. Okay, that one looks fun. And if you chose a different color, then obviously go to the proper color that you like and then open up those backdrops and then tell your Workbench to go ahead and use those. I like the candy. So I'm going to continue using my animated desktop for now. But all of my icons you can see in my system are the new icons. They're all the Raven black, and they look cool. And it is beautified my Amiga OS. Fairly easy install again, but make sure you back up. Make sure your hard drive has plenty of space. Yes, there's some that you manually need to drag and drop and adjust. You can change the sizes. I need to reread, but you can change the sizes. So if you didn't want to do the stock 64 by 64, at least that's what I have on mine, you can do bigger. I just particularly like this size, and that works for me best. So anyway, Infinite Icons, it's at the AmiKit website. I'll put the link down below. As I play with this more, if I come up with more info, I'll let you know. But that's the only hiccup that I had. I ran out of space on the hard drive, had to reinstall it. It recommends in the text file to install it in that prefs presets, but I didn't. I ended up having to put it on a different one, and it seems to be working fine. So there you go. I've got one damn pretty autumn desktop with the candy and the Infinite Icons, and there you go. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Bye. Was I in the camera at all?